Hello, my dear friends. I want to touch base on a question that was told, and that question was, how do we open up a Savate club or a martial arts school? Okay, there are two different questions in one, but I'm going to go ahead and tackle that question to the best of my knowledge. Number one, you're inside the first Savate school in the United States. Okay, this was not recognized by me or somebody gave me, oh, we're going to just claim this. No. This was recognized by the International Federation of Savate, as well as the French Federation of Savate back in 90, in 91, 92. Okay? So, nonetheless, this school has been around since 1988. Okay? When my uncle and my father and I we re-emerged the movement with another individual, Perry King, who has long gone from us, as well as my uncle. And that's how basically started this movement of Savate. Okay, well, leaving that aside. The question of opening up a Savate school. Number one, you have to understand the art. I'm going to talk a little bit about the art because it's unlike other martial arts. Okay, other martial arts, you go to Taekwondo, you go to Karate, you go to what have you, become a black belt, off you go. Many times they go open up their club, they start off a club at their house, in the backyard, what have you, and they start giving rank. Sometimes, and we can talk about those instances later on. But that doesn't give you, if you achieve the highest technical grade, which is silver glove in Savate, that doesn't give you the ability to teach. You have to do an apprenticeship, okay? Here in the United States and in other countries, you start off with coach. I implemented the coach basis back in 1991 in an international meeting in Tournai, Belgium. And it was accepted by the Russians, over there, at that time, they were trying to divide Yugoslavia into Croatia. Croatia took it. The Italians took it. And I believe also Cameroon took it at that time. They accepted it and we did. And a coach was basically a second for you to lead people into the ring. Why? Because many times in many clubs of Savate, the competitors will end up being matched against each other. And if you're the professor, the monitor, or the aide monitor, which are instructor or initiador, instructional ranks, and you side with one, you're going to have riffraff inside, you can break up the club. So we made the coach to become a second. Nonetheless, we continue going forward. Other martial arts, like I said, they get black belt here and they think they can teach all the other arts. I've seen certificates of Savate run around with silver glove names on them, with people with titles of Sifu and Sensei and Shidoshi giving rank of Savate. It's like if me, as a professor of Savate, is giving somebody a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo, or a Mestre of Capoeira, or a 10th in Kempo. Even though I do Kempo and I'm ranked in Kempo, both Gaju Kempo and Parker Kempo, you don't mix them. So get that into your head because it's going to come back with what I'm talking about. Now, into opening up Savate. First, you need to know what Savate is, right? You have to train in it. You have to do an apprenticeship in it. I want people to open up clubs. I want people to open up schools. There's a difference between a club and a school, okay? People say, I want to open up a martial arts school. It's a different story. Opening up a Savate club, you can have it inside a martial arts school. You can have it inside a PAL system. You can have it inside a rec center. Those are clubs. Now, school. When people say, I want to open up a school. Well, this right here has taken over 30 years of growth to do, okay? You can see the patina on the wall. Now, once you start training, and you start training people with gloves and shoes and teaching them the correct way of blocking, punching, what have you, the average person is not going to go into those schools. They're going to, why? Because they're afraid of getting punched, they're afraid of getting kicked. Even though they're not going to get hurt, they're going to learn how. They're afraid of doing that. They're going to associate a Savate school, not to a martial arts school, they're going to associate it more to a boxing club. Okay? If you go to a boxing club, you can have maybe 30 people running around. Most boxing clubs are nonprofits. They have grants they open them up. But now, if you go into open up a boxing gym in a site location, you're going to run into the same problems of what I'm talking about. One is location. Okay, when I started out and I had the school in Irving, we had it in a warehouse type space, and everybody said that that would not work. Now everybody's running with this CrossFit face, open gym type scenario, kickbox this, kickbox that, and they're opening up in the warehouse areas. You're going to get a select few of clientele that are going to go over there. You're not going to get your kids in there. Okay, I'm going to tell you that much. Why? Because nowadays, kids are not taken to a martial arts school like they were 30 years ago when I was growing up, when the father was the one that was choosing the instructor. Usually he took them to the guy that was a bone roller that could kick somebody's ass in that town, and they wanted the son to learn how to fight. Now it's a soccer mom that's going to take them where everybody's calling that they're going to be going, and once they get inside, they want to make sure that that kid has a black belt. Let me tell you a story. Down the street from there's a rec center. All the kids that come from here, they're here 1-2 years. Parents pull them out, go over there and pay $700 to $1,000, I believe. And the kid's running around with a black belt. So right now I just direct them. If you want a black belt, go to that school, because all you're going to pay is $700 to $1,000, and the kid's going to be wearing a black belt. Does that mean that kid's effective? No. But that's what they want. That's what parents want. They do not want you to teach your kids how to defend themselves. They want you to teach their kids how to wear a black belt. That's a mentality that you're going to get. So once you start opening up a Savate school, that doesn't exist, because there's no black belts in Savate. There's a black sash that makes you a student. Okay? But nonetheless, people understand that they want to get equipment. Okay? Location. In the United States, the price range for martial arts can range anywhere from $100 to $650 per month, depending where you're at. Okay? Most schools in Texas are $100 to $500 per month in Texas. Most schools in Laredo are $150 to $550 per month. That's Laredo, Texas. So I'm talking about what I know here. What's the services? Well, some services are basically babysitting services, kindergarten services. And listen, if they're making their money, I'm not against that. But parents are going to see differences. There's martial arts schools here that you go once per day, per week, twice per week, or every day. So you have to see what you want to do. You have to see the styles that they teach. Do they still teach a combo of styles in their own trajectory, or they mishmash everything together and what have you? Now we come into certificates. If you're doing a martial arts school, what achievements do you have? Where is your association ranking? Where is your ranking as well? Where are your certificates for you to be able to teach something like that? Right? That's very important. Again, you need it, but moms don't care, because most moms out there that take kids to go do martial arts, they do not know the difference between sumo wrestling and capoeira, taekwondo and savate, kickboxing and wrestling. They have no idea. Now, then we continue. Okay? You have to buy equipment. You see a lot of equipment here. You see a lot of equipment, you see a lot of memorabilia, you see weights, you see stuff that we have inside. And the reason I tell you that it takes time to acquire. Okay? Because if you want to put in weights, you want to put in stuff like that for you to work out in, not for it to be open. Hey, we're going to come over here and work out. No. I'm intrigued. If somebody wants to come in here and work out, they can work out. If they want personal training, we have that as well. The problem that we get into is people are afraid of the unknown. Savate is a word that some martial artists know what it is. Some martial artists think of it as French ninjutsu, French taekwondo, French kickboxing, French this. They have no idea what it is. It's just assumptions of what somebody else has told that doesn't know the difference. It has a long history of tradition. It has a long history of techniques. And it is a martial art that is very beautiful in its own essence. just like American Kempo Karate. Kempo Karate has a great tradition, great self-defense system. Alone by itself is effective. Capoeira by itself is effective, but people think of it as non-effective in the street. Why? Because that's what it's been portrayed as. Yet, Capoeira and Savate are being taking the techniques and placed into MMA. Now, here's the question people always say. Do you take people to compete? I used to take people to compete. And I can tell you that if I had 50 people on the mat training to compete, when the competition came, I'll end up with 8 to 10. Okay? So I started devising team. You're part of the team and you have to be here at this time. Why? Because most people that come in want to be around the fighters. Why? Because they think that they're going to fight just like them. It takes time. To produce a fighter for the ring takes time. It takes your time. And especially an amateur, and most amateurs don't have the money to go places, so you have to get sponsorships to help out and so on and so forth. It's a total different ball game. Okay, I commend those gyms that are doing that here, because you have to go out there and get sponsorship for that, right? People come over and say, wait a minute, Professor, you're teaching this much, but Laredo Boxing, it's free. When they go over there. But they don't realize that the coaches that are there do not pay rent, do not pay insurance, do not pay light, do not pay overhead, do not pay others that are teaching. It's a whole different spectrum. And you're not going to get the care over there as you will with another place that you become. In some places you will if you start producing. If you just go around there just to goof off, they're not going to pay attention to you. Believe me. Now, you go into this problem. Everybody says, I want the best location. Most locations, I repeat this again, especially here in Laredo, 1,000 square feet is anywhere between $3,500 to $5,000. Okay? Let's take the extreme, 5,000 bucks. If I'm charging 100 bucks, I need 50 students just to pay the rent. You did great. How about the light? How about your expenses? How about your living, the cost of living, so on and so forth, okay? And then you have a guy that tells them, that's working out at a rec center, tells them, oh, give me 750 bucks, I'll give your kid a black belt, because the other person over there is keeping your son or your daughter away from getting his achievement. Well, you're actually teaching them how to defend themselves. Understand? False ego in the mind, it's okay. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm telling you the facts. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've lived them. I've seen them. I've seen them from Dallas and Irving all the way over here. So if you're going to open up a school and not a club, you have to understand the risks that you have to take inside. Out of every 10 martial arts schools that open up, within the first 3 years, 8 of them are closed. Within the first 10 years, 1 is still open. We've been open since '88. We've been doing it since '88. Why? Because number one is passion. You have to open it up. Second, you have to have the knowledge. Third, you have to have the trust in the community. Okay? And fourth, you have to be able to teach it. So, with that said, you have to be able to have your product be capable of doing what they're training for. That mine did that, and it's my little Boston Terrier that's actually the best thing that we have here in the club here. His name's Chappie. Right? Go with it. What I'm saying is there's a lot of work to do. When you see people that have been achieved this for 30 years, you do not see the hard work it took them to get where they're at. Okay? It's not going to happen overnight. I'm not discouraging you. In fact, I want you to do it if you want to do it. You might say, you know what, Paul? You know what, Professor? Screw you. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Please go for it. But understand what the dangers are from going inside. Most landlords are going to ask for 2 months. The first month, and then a security deposit, which is the same as a month. If you go in certain areas and don't have a bathroom, with that bathroom, It's going to cost you roughly or between $10,000 to $15,000 to place. Okay, and then if your city says you need two, well then it's going to probably be about 20,000 bucks. Next, if you have to furnish electricity, most electric companies are going to charge you for commercial basis on say a thousand square feet with permits and so on and so forth. Probably going to be another 10,000 bucks. Okay, you want AC, probably another 10,000 because you're going to put a 5-ton unit inside. So by the time you open your doors, you've probably dished in 60 grand before you even put in a mat, before you even put in bags, before you even want to put in weights. And remember, you're going up against every gym, every rec center, every yoga, every other martial arts school. Why? Because every gym now has a kickboxing class that people say that is martial arts, even though it's some kind of aerobics, which is fine, but they implement it and they state and they describe it as you can defend yourself, and that is a bunch of baloney. Remember, if you want to learn how to fight, you want to take it seriously, learn from people that do that. Till next time, much peace, and stay safe.